But first of all, we're going to welcome our friends from Engelmann and Buckham to the stage to talk a bit about marking, a bit about the new UC22 case coder. So please give a big, warm PPMA Show 2024 welcome to, from manufacturer Norwix, we have Martin French, and from Engelmann and Buckham, which distributes and integrates this in the UK, we have Ian Buckham. Come on up. Come on, big round of applause, please.
That's as good
there
as
we
we
go.
get.
I'm sorry that we couldn't get the smoke and lightning and all the rest of those effects. They're
It's a pity.
temporarily on the blink, but thank you both for joining us. So, first things first, I'm seeing Norwix, I'm seeing Engelmann and Buckham here, I'm seeing the UC22 case coder behind us. Could you just give us a picture of how that all fits together? Because I know we've got manufacturer,
Sure.
we've got sort of distributor here as well as product.
Sure.
Put those pieces together for us so we all know where we sit.
So we're a founding member of PPMA, and we've been in the inkjet business for a long time because we supply a lot of different manufacturers,
Yep.
and they need additional services. And so we started working with Norwix about 15 years ago, maybe slightly longer, in different industries, in the printing industry, in the packaging industry. And we've talked to them about what we needed more of and what was happening with the technology and the issue with labeling boxes, etc. And they've launched, with the help of HP, the UC22, which we now distribute in UK and Ireland.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Sure.
And Martin, from a manufacturer's point of view, close relationship with Ian, I guess.
Oh, definitely. I mean, one of the things as a manufacturer is you're often distanced from the final end user, the final person using your product, and you need people like Ian and his company to actually tell you what's really going on.
Yes.
We're a USA-based company, a manufacturer selling around the world, and sometimes we like to think that the USA is the center of the world and we know everything, and the reality is the UK is a different market, Europe is a different market, and we have to rely on Ian to basically guide us into the right direction of product development, new products, sales, the whole work. So it's worked very well with the close relationship we've had for, feels like decades now. Decades.
And despite your accent, you are based in the US, aren't you, over in Connecticut?
I am indeed,
And
yes.
Norwix is a US company.
It is, yes.
Okay. Let's just do a bit of context setting here as to where we are in the printing part of the industry and marking, and what the market trends are. Sunrise 2027 is something that I'll throw into this conversation as well. What's the journey that we're on right now, and perhaps what is the gap that we need technology to be filling to enable perhaps the UK more than the US to step up and reach a good standard? Maybe that's one for you first, Ian.
Sure. So the problem with inkjet technology previously or currently is the width that you can print with a cartridge, and also the DPI you can get in order to be able to read something that's printed on a box. Also the distance, everything has to be very accurate, which is in a production, in an exhibition you can do it wonderfully well, but in production it becomes a headache.
Yeah.
With the event of the new 4.0 TIG from HP, which Norwix are using, it allows you to, it eliminates a lot of these issues that you have.
Okay. We mentioned the cartridge just there. Show it up so that we can see it, Martin, but don't wave it around too heartily, because I get a spray of that ink, which I know is pretty solid stuff.
Yep.
So just talk us through what this innovation is here then, if you can.
Well, let's just step back just one brief bit as well before we go down this route, which is, what Ian's saying is completely right, but there's a larger market driver that we're seeing nowadays, which is data-driven. We're seeing the need for more information delivered to consumers, delivered to the manufacturers and the providers and the distribution channels of foodstuffs, for example. So we're seeing a trend where current print technologies are not, in a lot of cases, being able to keep up. And that kind of has morphed and led us naturally into this latest development. And I say latest, this has been around for about 2.5 years from Hewlett-Packard, but it takes a long time to develop something that will actually print effectively with the quality you need, the speed you need. So it's taken us a few years to get to the point where we're actually now delivering something that has the speed, the performance that Ian's talking about at a price point which is acceptable to the market.
I'm going to come a step back as well. So you talk about the importance of being data driven in this industry. Are we talking about product provenance here, tracing throughout a supply chain, for example, irrespective of the packaging that the product itself may be in? You need to be able to trace it, and in order to do that, that's where marking technology comes in.
Exactly. I mean, some of the great drivers of track and trace systems has been pharmaceutical, medical device. You know, the companies there who, for reasons of litigation regulations, have had to needed to track where their product was and at any one point. Now with the advent of new technology, we're seeing food channels, service channels now also requiring the same needs and requirements for food safety, recalls, but also for marketing. You know, where is this product being consumed? Where is this product, what sales channels is this going through? And that's led us to a point where the current barcode systems, which is 1D as we call it, the normal barcode that we see on most products, is morphing now to what we call 2D, QR codes, data matrix codes, that have so much more data capability that allows the end users and the customers to actually be able to present this much amount of information and record this amount of information.
And Ian, the context here, something I heard for the first time, not being integrated so much into the printing part of the industry, Sunrise 2027, for anyone who isn't aware of what that is and what the imperative there is and why the 2D barcodes, the QR codes, if you like, are so important. What's the driver there?
So the goal is to be able to track and trace products from the manufacturer all the way through the process to the consumer, just like happens in the pharmaceutical industry today. Currently, when you print a chocolate bar wrapper, it has a 1D barcode on it that's pre-printed, has very limited information in it. Sunrise 27 is to give far more information within a QR code, which means it needs to be printed in real time, not only with using this technology, but using other technology as well. And that's the drivers to give the consumer more control over what they're buying, what they're eating. You can see it in supermarkets with the red, green, and lighting on the food, and what's the word? What the ingredients with inside packets, whether they're good for children or not.
The traffic light system.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, to give a brief story of what's happened recently, is we've supplied a lot of the Norwix product to print 2D barcodes on boxes in Ireland. They're giving free school lunches to all the children starting the program. We print a 2D barcode on the box that allows that track and trace that all the way through the process.
Right.
So if a child gets the wrong lunch, they can scan it, they can record back exactly what's happened, so the whole process. And that's done. We're doing 100,000 of those a day now in Ireland.
I'm sure there's a whole data system behind that, a lot of information systems to enable that. But of course you need to have that 2D barcode printed on the end user product.
That's where it all starts.
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, let's, in the interest of time, why don't we take a look at the product that we're showcasing today, the UC22, which is at the end of that line, which is printing the 2D barcodes, or really whatever you want, onto the end product. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to go down the line and go to the Engelmann and Buckham stand C60. Maybe you can set a bit of context around what the UC22 is.
Exactly. So one of the things with the new technology from HP, which is basically the enabler they provided, the technology they provided, is for very high quality. So in this case, this cartridge-based system, or this bulk system, is 1200 DPI, which is great quality, phenomenal quality. But this will actually run up to around about 750 meters a minute. You can actually be printing. So it's significantly fast. And there we go, and basically it's encapsulated in a system that we have here. In fact, we're just showing now, which is the UC22, which is an all-in-one system built very much around this cartridge. The cartridge is actually there on top of.
Yes, we can see it on top there. There we go. Is that Andrew who's picking that up? Hello, Andrew. Good to see you there.
And so that's the actual print head itself. And what you see there is actually there's almost 5,000 individual nozzles that are coming down there that you're seeing in 4 lines, but they're so small you really can't see them with the human eye. But that enables us to have the print quality that we've got. So the UC22, if we zoom back out there, you'll see is an all-in-one system that's designed to take the advantages of this new thermal inkjet 4.0 and wrap it in an all-in-one system with a large 300 millimeter 11.6 inch screen, full touch screen color, and trap this into a box that fits in the factory environment or in almost any environment, and that can be retrofitted into or bolted onto conveyor systems, tapers, just about anything here. So what we're seeing at the moment is the control unit and the screen, and then we see just behind that coming out are the print heads. There's 2 here, what we class as on the front of the box, and there's 2 more printing on the other side. Now each print head has a print height of 22 millimeters. To get much taller or wider prints, you just basically stagger them together as we have here, and you can kind of see at the back there where this is what we call stitched together. They're just literally bolted together in a very simple environment, and from that would now give you 44 millimeters in print height, and you can keep going up.
Just to be clear, there are no print heads in that at the moment, which is why I can see the
exactly.
needles on the bottom.
You can see the hole in there, and that's kind of deliberate. We just want to make sure you see that's where those particular cartridges.
But the marking on the bottom of the box, just to illustrate that point, that UC22, a new level of performance in case coders, that has been printed using that staggered combo of nozzles or print heads.
Exactly, and we'll actually show you in a minute this printing as well, sort of thing, just to show you that I think, just as Ian said, it's very easy to make anything look pretty in a controlled environment, but we'll actually show you this printing in real life as well. But we see there the 1D barcode, what we call the ITF14, and then to the left the QR code, which is what we're going to be seeing for Sunrise 2027. And obviously graphics, text, and a whole lot more sort of thing. And then there's no real limitations on what you can do with this system. Basically whatever you want to print it.
I mean, that's better than my inkjet printer at home, frankly. This is probably overkill for my small office use, but...
It is. But you need a good conveyor system. So what we have here on display at booth C60 and on Engelmann and Buckham is obviously as a conveyor system. This could be anybody's conveyor system. We obviously just place this on to make it easy to view. And there we have the print heads. And really this is the simplicity of all. There's really not much more to this. What we do have here, which we'll point out, we talked about the little cartridge, but just to the right-hand side there's this white, that's the bulk cartridge. So this is easily removed. That's actually where all the ink sits. That just is replaced as it empties out. Something like that there. So the print you just saw on the box there, that particular cartridge will print probably about 120,000 of those before you'd even have to think about replacing that. And just as Andrew took that out there, you saw that it basically just comes out, you put it straight back
hot
inside.
Swappable almost.
So, the whole system is designed around to make it easy for the operator, make it easy for the factory managers, basically de-skill everything. This is a necessary need, but really what the manufacturer is making is, it could be baked beans, it could be cans, it could be just about anything sort of thing, and we just make it easy in an all-in-one environment to do that.
You've got a blank box on the right of frame there. Are we set up to see anything being printed right now?
We can, but I think we do, before we do that, let's go to the actual software itself, and I just want to show you how simple this, from an operator perspective. So Andrew, if you could just go and so all we're going to do here, so let's add something. This is how simple it is. All we're going to add is, let's say, an expiry date. And what we can do with this is we can make this as dynamic as we want. And I'm using this just to show basically what it is. So in this case, we know what the date is. The system knows the date. And so in this case, all we're going to do is all we're going to do basically is tell it what format to put this in.
Yeah.
So we're just going to say, there we go, we call it a date.
There we go. So we've got some pre-configured
down, which most people are going to want to use. And again, in America, we would start with month. In England, we start with dates.
Why do you do that? It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's
whatsoever.
another conversation, though.
And in pharmaceutical, the year comes first, but that's a different story. In this case, we're going to put an offset. So we're going to say, imagine this was an expiry date for something. And in this case, we're just saying, well, let's just do it 50 days from now.
Yep.
That's okay. And then go okie dokie. And effectively, it just builds something very quickly. So what we've done now is, here's a dynamic date that will change as the day goes, as every day goes on. This is 50 days from today's date, in this case. Make it a little bit of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to print this. So in this case, we've had some pre-configured. There's the 1D, the 2D barcodes, Engelmann and Buckham's logo. Any graphics, it's easy enough.
So the pump is primed at this point with exactly what we want to appear on the marking.
The user can see what's going to print. You basically hit what is an obvious big green button.
Love a big green button.
That's it. And in the majority of the cases, most people will have these jobs already pre-configured and done because it's going to be a standard type of thing. So the system's going to effectively prime itself. So there's a little bit of movement in the top right. But essentially, off it goes. And at this point, all we do is print. From now on, it's going to measure the speed of the conveyor. It's going to effectively go, okay, here comes the box, and off we go, and there we go. So effectively, we've just printed it. There's the expiry date, just to prove this is live. And you get this great quality. All those barcodes are incredibly readable and will remain readable. When we talk about the difference between the two barcodes, the one on the right is what we call the 1D, one-dimensional. I have about a maximum of 15 data characters that I can record in that. When we look at the QR code, I can go up to about 4,000, over 4,000. So it really is a very dense barcode that sets the stage for the future, particularly for Sunrise 2027 and other track and trace systems.
Okay.
So quality is really there, but in a way, it's very simple. Now, let's thank you, Andrew, on that. The reality of this is this is a system that's effectively ready to go. It can be dropped in almost anywhere. I mean, there is no maintenance on this. There's no need for a maintenance contract. You don't have to have technicians coming around.
Yep.
It just runs. That's, being honest, as simple as it gets, and it's designed to be done. We have this concept of getting more for less, basically. Is have something that's set for the future, which the UC22 certainly is, and then make it at a price point that's so attractive that the risk is so small.
Feels like a good sustainability story there as well, doing more with less and something that is going to be set for the future too. Yeah.
Exactly, and when we look at the ink cartridges you've seen there, they're all fully recyclable as well. So you're again looking at, they're just made of plastic effectively. So even those will recycle.
All right, well, Andrew, thank you very much for chatting us, for not chatting us through, but taking us through the comprehensive demo of the UC22 there. Let's come back to the studio and just wrap up with a few questions. Ian, you wanted to come in first.
Yes, so I just want, as the brochure, as it shows above here, a lot of these systems are going to be put on unstable conveyors.
Yep.
And there is in the past an issue with putting inkjet on unstable conveyors because it can wobble and therefore it will not print a good barcode or whatever. Norwix have designed the system which allows you to fit it on a case sealer like this or any other sort of unstable conveyor and print a very good quality in a readable barcode.
And in terms of the different things that you can print onto, obviously boxes are probably the easiest of the targets here, but in terms of abnormally uneven type surfaces, is that something that this would be a good fit for, or are we looking at another product there?
Well, and that's how long is a piece of string, and there's so many variables in that. This particular product has been manufactured primarily for case coding.
Yep. Okay.
To basically replace labels and save costs. We're talking maybe about 6 times cost in consumables, and to go down the market for the future as well, obviously make it capable of doing that. Uneven surfaces, you know, that's going to be, if you're half an inch away from something, this is not really the product. This is a water-based ink, and it's designed to work fully, really on porous materials rather than glass or plastics. And we have other products. Ian has other products for that as well.
And the other thing that it's good for is if you run a traditional TIJ system, you get a lower DPI. So if you need to print a greater image, a higher DPI image, then this is a low-cost solution for that process as well.
And this is 1200 DPI, I think we said earlier. In terms of where this fits, kind of price point, you don't need to give me pounds and pence or dollars and cents necessarily, but in terms of where this fits and where it sits for different applications, where would you say? I mean, maybe this is one for both of you in terms of manufacture and integration.
Yeah, I mean, we see this at a price point. We've designed this, you know, we're not looking to, we're looking at volume of shifting many of these, so obviously there is a savings and cost savings in economy of scale. The reality is this really is half the price of any other comparable technologies from a hardware perspective and from an ink perspective or consumables perspective, particularly when compared to labels, which is what we see dominant in the UK, for example. You know, you're talking 4 to 6 times saving just in consumables alone, and with no maintenance contracts. So really, if you're talking the system that you're looking at, you know, if you're looking at a system there of this UC22, you really are talking just under sub £10,000. You know, there really is there's no maintenance contracts that we see other manufacturers providing, because there's nothing really to go wrong with the thing, and if you have a problem with the print head, take it out, put another one in, and hey presto, you're up and running in an instant. So, you know, just kind of summarize where the UC22 is. It's targeted for case coding market. It's targeted for the future. As we talked about Sunrise 2027 as some of the new requirements coming up. It's targeted to be very high speed, and again, in case coding, maybe that's not so important, but this also does fit into other industries as well. And it's designed to be, you know, at a higher performance, lower cost. And the thing that I like to say is that really somebody's, you know, they come to Ian's company, to Buckham, and what they'll do is they're going to be buying a Ferrari, but at the price of a Ford or a Vauxhall. You know, but with all the quality and performance that you expect.
I'm all for car analogies here in the live demonstration theatre. I just want to throw, in case there's any questions from those of you inside the theatre or those of you lurking around the outside, taking in an ice cream. Anybody have any questions? Anything that we haven't covered as well? Gentlemen, no? I think we've answered all of the questions in that case, which is a testament to the thoroughness of the demonstration from Andrew down the line and the conversation on there. In which case, any final thoughts, and where can people go to find out more? Obviously, is it C60? I think it is a C60, taking me back to my childhood, recording the chart show onto cassette tapes. That's how I remember where you guys are based at. If people aren't watching today, where's the best place for them to go?
They can go to our website, www.buckham.co.uk.
Yep.
Very good.
If it's on there. Yes, at the
yes,
top
it is.
right.
Top left, top right.
Top, yeah. And we can supply information as much as whatever they would like.
And obviously, you know, today, whilst people are here, booth C60, stand C60, just down here. Please come and see us. It's been very busy in the past day and a half, which is a testament to what you were saying. And I believe Ian's actually sold quite a few of these already, so it's actually been...
Promises.
So it's been a wonderful time. I've only been here a day from the manufacturer, so to actually see not just the interest, but the people putting their money where their mouth is very quickly. So I think we're on the right track.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for both of your mouths being on the money for the last half an hour while we've been chatting about this. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up one more time for our guests here on the stage, to Martin and to Ian, and indeed to Andrew down the line too. Thank you very much, team.
Thank you.
There you go.